E3 2020 has been canceled. There will not be an E3 this year, and those are weird words to hear coming out of my mouth. I mean, there's always been an E3. I'm pretty sure since like the 1600s, there has always been an E3 every single year for us to look forward to. And now there's just, kinda not. And it's weird. Obviously, it's because of rising concerns about the coronavirus. A lot of different events this year have been canceled or otherwise hindered by this whole entire outbreak thing. I am pretty darn sure that if PAX had taken place like 1 or 2 weeks later, it would have been canceled too. Sony wasn't there, a bunch of other companies weren't there, and I'm pretty darn sure it was on the verge of being canceled. And so now that the whole coronavirus scare has really ramped up a lot of stuff, GDC just got canceled. Game Developers Conference. That was a big bummer for me. I was actually gonna go. I got a press pass. I was gonna go. I was really looking forward to talking to game developers and publishers and stuff, and that's not happening anymore. They were in trouble for a while. A bunch of big companies, same thing, had started pulling out, so then it got canceled too, and so now E3 is just kinda the next one on the chopping block. They're saying they might still try to coordinate something to get all the companies together to sort of announce stuff at the same time anyway, but I'm kinda, I don't know, I'm a little skeptical about that. We'll just have to wait and see how that kind of pans out. Now, we've all been asking ourselves for years now, do we still need E3? Is it still relevant? And of course, this situation kind of brings up that question more than ever. Like, more than ever, we are having to examine what E3 is and ask ourselves if we really need it. My answer to that question has always been no. Ever since companies gained the ability to announce games and deliver stuff straight to us through the power of the internet, no, we do not need E3 anymore. We do not strictly need something like that at this stage. However, I also feel that such a thing is beneficial, so it's silly not to take advantage of it. When you gather all the companies together to do one big, huge thing and reveal a bunch of stuff, I feel that it makes the sum is bigger than the whole. No, I really messed that up. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Basically, when you add all this stuff together and make it into one big, huge event, it multiplies hype. It gets everybody looking at the game industry and looking at all these games, and it's exposing people to announcements in games that they would not have necessarily seen or cared about before. I know that I personally have been exposed to tons and tons, just countless games over the years that I wouldn't have seen before because I'm all caught up in the E3 hype, so I'm watching, I started with just Nintendo, and before long, I was doing all of them. I was doing Microsoft and Sony and Ubisoft, and that really, I don't know. It got me looking at new games. It got me thinking about new games. And of course, it was just a lot of fun. Like, even more on a personal level, it's just a ton of fun watching all the conferences and waiting for all the news and stuff. And I think it's always been beneficial. Even if the companies haven't needed it, it has always been something just good for them. Unfortunately, even at its absolute best, E3 has always been run by the ESA, which is a company with a bit of a shady, weird past. They're responsible for the ESRB, which is kind of I don't know, there's a lot of weirdness to that. And then more recently, last year, you might have heard how a list of all of the information of all of the press people who signed up for E3 last year got leaked on their website because of an absolute ridiculous lack of security. Like, it was something that should not have happened. Absolutely should not have happened, and they did very little to solve the problem or make anything right. They were just kind of like, oh yeah, sorry, your email and your home address and your phone numbers for every single person that attended E3, every press person. Yeah, it's all out there. Whatever. Sorry, we won't do it again. It was a great big mess, and it really did not show the ESA in a very good light. Another issue is that even if I've always thought E3 was fun, we kind of have to look at what the actual event has become, like the actual physical go there event. Because over the last few years, it's really turned into something I never ever in a million years would want to go to. I mean, going to E3 used to be like the thing, the end goal for my video gaming life, the most amazing, important thing that could ever happen to me, going to E3. And now, like, they've opened it up to the public, and it's become even bigger and crazier, and it's become even more convenient to just watch all of the streams from the comfort of my own home. So now, actually being there, wading through all these people, just to see all the announcements that I was going to see at home anyway, it seems like the last thing in the world that I would actually like to do. And a lot of people who actually go there say, yeah, it's not what it was before. It's so much more commercialized. It's just too big, and for a lot of people, it's just hardly worth it anymore. And E3 was already losing relevance. Like I said, over the years, we've been asking ourselves again and again if we actually need it. And now you have Sony dropping out. Last year, they dropped out, I assumed, because they just didn't have a lot of stuff to show. They were at the end of the generation. But then this year, they just kinda didn't want to. And it's kind of starting to feel like more and more companies are probably going to start following suit. I mean, even Nintendo, like, they're at E3 and the Treehouse thing is there, but they don't even do a live thing anymore. They just do their own thing. And it's kind of felt like E3 was on the verge, like kind of on the edge of losing its relevancy for a while now. And this situation feels like it could potentially be a turning point. It might not, but it just... Now we're gonna see what the world looks like without E3. You know what I mean? Like, we're actually gonna be able to get a feel for what that actually is, and the companies are too. So, like, here, if everybody decides to get in on the E3 thing anyway, and make, say Microsoft and Ubisoft and everyone basically makes directs, Ubisoft Direct, Microsoft Direct, whatever, then they're gonna see how that works for them. And if it ends up working for them, they might not want to go back to the old format. I imagine those big stage shows with the big physical presence, they have to cost a ton of money. And if they see that it's just as effective to do what Nintendo did, then I don't know. Are they gonna want to go back to E3 next year? Now, I would be fine, like totally fine if every single company basically adopted the Nintendo Direct format, where E3 didn't even have much of a physical thing anymore. I mean, there's like the show floor where people go play games, but as far as like the actual, the presentations go, if every single company did the whole Direct thing, that would be awesome. If E3 was just sort of a time for everybody to release their big announcement videos all at the same time, then that'd be cool. That would pretty much be just as much hype. But then again, we sort of have to ask ourselves, would that really benefit the companies? Like I said, I do think that the whole multiplied hype thing is beneficial for everybody, but if you get anybody sort of like breaking off from the overall strategy and doing their own thing, kind of like Sony has been doing, then it compromises the entire thing. It compromises the vision, the hype factor. Because a lot of these companies, they've already been pushing it with E3. Like, every single year, like EA especially, they're like trying to get ahead of everybody else. They're like, we're doing our thing. E3 is usually like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We're gonna do ours Monday. Well, we're gonna do ours Sunday. Oh, we're gonna do ours the previous Saturday. Oh, maybe we'll just push it to Friday. So, if everybody was just airing their own direct style things, what's to stop them from just sort of being like, well, how about we do ours in May instead? How about we do ours in April, a couple months before E3, or even just earlier in June, you know what I mean? It's like Black Friday, once one company starts doing that, then everybody feels like they need to get ahead of the game too. And so it just seems like the idea of everybody doing their own direct style things all at the same time and coordinating that way is starting to feel like not super likely. But I don't know, that's all just speculation, I guess. The main thing to think about, though, is that E3 will probably not be the same after this, and there's a number of reasons. The first reason, obviously, is because of this cancellation. This might sort of change everyone's opinions on what E3 is, what E3 should be. But it goes further than that. I mentioned how the ESA is sort of turning into something of a pretty shady company, and how people are saying that E3 already isn't what it used to be. Oh man, this is so gross. So some time back, some like internal memos from the ESA surfaced, sort of, sorry, I'm so grossed out by this idea. Sort of outlining something like a pitch of what future E3 could be like. I don't know how much of this will end up going through, if it's 100% accurate, this is their plan, or if this is just like somebody was just proposing it. but it was not nice stuff. It was like, okay, we're gonna get rid of all the journalists because they're the ones actually reporting. We don't want neutral reporters giving their opinions. So no journalists, only influencers, only personalities whose opinions can be bought. So that's bad enough. And then there's stuff where like, okay, we increase the wait times for everything. More lines. That's already what E3 is. It's lines. Lines and lines and lines. They're like, we do that. We embrace the line thing, and so that we can, I can't even say it. So that we can advertise to the people in the lines. They put screens up all over the place and keep you waiting for longer so that they can sit there and blast you with advertisements while you wait. So just a lot of really nasty stuff that really doesn't really show the ESA in a very good light or give me a lot of hope about the future of E3. The ESA has said, E3 is not canceled overall. There will be an E3 next year. They're already planning it. But if it looks anything like what they were talking about in that memo or whatever it was, then no, the future of E3 is not very bright. And I don't know. I don't even know if the other companies are going to want to get in on that. Maybe they will. Maybe that's the perfect thing. Maybe it'll be a big shower of money advertising to everyone like that. I don't really know. Right now, we just kind of have to wait and see. But whatever happens, I really do think that things are going to be different from now on. And, it's a little sad. Like for sure, I've always enjoyed E3 so much, so that there is a little part of me that will miss what E3 used to be. But things change, you know? The older I get, the more I just kind of have to realize that stuff changes. And even things that I enjoy, they can't always last forever. And, we still have video games, you know? There are still companies that are still wanting to reveal video games to us and let us look at them. We still get Nintendo Directs, so that's the biggest thing right there. I mean, I assume we still get Nintendo Directs. Nintendo! But let me know what you guys think about this whole E3 business. Are you happy that this kind of gross corporate giant has been toppled? Are you sad about the stuff that you used to like to do that now you might not get to do the same way again? Let me know in the comments. And this is the first video I've done in my new studio. Did you see this? I don't know why I asked if you could see this, obviously. Obviously you can't, but you can just see the green screen and me. But there's new lights everywhere. I'm in a new studio. This will increase the amount of time that I'm available to shoot videos. And if you've been on Twitter, you've seen little updates about it as I've kind of built it up. And it's cool. And this is the first video that I've done in the new studio, and I am happy. I got a bunch of like acoustic foam and acoustic panels to cut down on the reverb, the room ambience. So how do I sound? Bah! Bah. Testing. 1, 2, 3. It's better. Yeah, I think it sounds pretty good. Anyway, I love you. See you later. Have a good day. Goodbye.